Hello everyone and welcome to Focus on Finance. Our special guest today is Dominic Schroeder and Corey Gray. They're the owners of a business called Honeydew Services in Radcliffe, Elizabethtown, Hardin County area. Now what made them an interesting person to interview this month is the fact that Small Business Saturday is coming up on the 29th. That's about the time that this program will be released. And we wanted to focus on a small business operator in Hardin County. I ran across these people here. They're extremely excited, energized, enthusiastic about what they're doing, and I wanted to share some of that enthusiasm with you. So I invited them on today. Corey and Dominic, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having
Now
us.
you
today.
guys are coming into this from being in the military, which is another interesting thing I want to talk a little bit more about. But what made you think about owning your own small business rather than what most people do is go get a job? We'll see what Corey has to say.
The pace of the military, I love my experience, but the length of time and someone always telling you something to do, I just enjoy the freedom of owning our own business, our own time, and time is valuable, it's priceless. So that's why we wanted it, or at least I wanted my own business.
How about you?
The other aspect is how far we can go with our own business. If we're working for somebody else, we want to value our time together. So if we're doing hard work up front, we know we're going to be reciprocated on the other end. Versus in the military, if you're salaried, you can do a little bit of work, get the same pay, or you can do a lot of work, and get the same pay. We wanted to do a lot of work and get paid for it as well.
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. Of course, most people actually choose to work for a place where they can get a guaranteed paycheck each week. It takes a special mentality for people to be willing to make their own job, create your own job, and also potentially create a job for someone else. And that's what's impressive to me about small business owners, and it's what's impressive to me about you. Let's talk more about, at the beginning here, talk more about the business itself, what services it offers, so we can get that, make sure people understand it is a business.
Yes.
And you do need customers, and that's one of the reasons we want to talk to them today. So describe that business for us, Dominic.
So our business is commercial and residential window cleaning and gutter cleaning. We want to service a person's home or their business, put a bright shine, and also take care of their gutters. It's something a lot of us neglect. I know me as a property owner, something I didn't really think about until it became a problem. So we want to get ahead of the problems and take care of those issues.
Got it. Makes sense. There's plenty of people that need that service. A lot of people ignore that part of owning a property
Yes.
until it becomes a serious problem. What about backgrounds? So you didn't come into this by being a window cleaning company in the Army? What were you doing in the Army? Corey?
My last position, I was the first sergeant at an academy in Camp Parks, California.
Academy, NCO Academy?
Yes.
Okay. And what about you, Dominic?
So I spent 22 years in the Army, and my last duty station was at Charleston, West Virginia. I was a senior operations NCO. So planning and executing different training events.
Wow. And so that experience in the Army, no doubt you thought a long time about what you could do when you were going to retire. And fortunately, people retire from the Army at a very young age, relatively young age. And so there's a whole career ahead of them. And many of them choose to use that time working for other people. But you guys took a different background. When you look back at this, what pulled you toward this particular service that you started?
So we wanted to own a business. So Corey wanted to buy a business, but as we're transitioning from the military, we didn't want to put a large investment into something we weren't sure was going to happen. We can put a lot of faith in the investment, but what pans out is another story. So we wanted to start with something with low overhead, service-based business, and then easy on the time frame for purchasing tools. So window cleaning, gutter cleaning was that business. And we saw Cody Sanchez's, she wrote Main Street Millionaire. And that inspired us, her company Pinks. So we started looking at that company like, wow, it did a really great job with marketing, a lot of social media. And so like, why don't we not copy, but emulate what they're doing? Because they have their own brand, an amazing brand, by the way. And so that's where we went. We wanted to start a business with low overhead that services people and or businesses that actually need the service.
Mm-hmm. So when you were looking at that, or watching and doing your research on that, Corey, you wanted to purchase a business. What were your thoughts? What were you thinking about in terms of what kind of a business would you purchase?
A laundromat. Because exactly what Cody Sanchez started off with. So I was like, oh, I can be just like her. And then you start looking at all the laundromats in the area, and I called a couple, and they're like not willing to sell. I'm like, oh my gosh. And our other idea that we use, Boots to Business, a TAP or a retirement training class. And we were going to do a gym. So we had a mentor that talked with us and went over, and they're like, if you do a franchise, you're literally paying for another job. So I was like, oh, and plus this area isn't really valued fitness. So we just kept on hitting roadblock after roadblock, and finally with Cody Sanchez and then seeing Pinks, we're like, let's try this.
Yeah, you did a lot of research. That's good. A lot of people that I've had experience with jump into the first thing they think of, and a lot of times they jump in without a good plan. And planning is the key. You already knew that long before you got into this. Speaking of coin laundry, we've worked with a few, we've sold a few. Once a person owns a coin laundry, they're not going to sell it. It's sort of like owning a toll bridge. It just keeps on making money every time somebody comes through the door.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful way to make income. And we've had people actually, this goes back a number of years, but there are people who have been millionaires locally from owning coin laundries. And that was, the story was a person walked into my office one day, this was 25, 30 years ago, and said he had a couple of coin laundries he wanted to sell. It took about 20 minutes to find a buyer. We've sold those same coin laundries 2 or 3 times now. Oh, so it is a powerful, you're right about that, Corey. If you could have gotten your hands on one, that would have been a great one. And then you expanded. Each one of these people are always trying to find the next one. So you're right, that is a great idea. But also your idea of a personal service business like this is a very good idea. It's an excellent idea. I believe there's a population here of people that don't have the capability to take care of their home. Elderly people, handicapped people, various people like that, or busy people. They don't have time to take care of their home. They want to. So it's just a matter of them finding out that there's a reputable company like what you have willing to do this kind of work at a fair price and do it in a safe way, and you're positive people. So I think you're going to do extremely well with the business model you have. How do you think the community itself so far? Well, let me back up. How long ago did you start this?
So we're very new. We established, I believe, mid-May. We established our LLC, and June is when we got our first customer.
Wow.
So
it's been a few months.
It's been a few months, yes.
How are people responding to you?
We get lots of great feedback. We like talking to our customers, especially if we're inside the house. And a lot of customers have referred us out to other people, which has been a huge blessing. But the feedback in the community, the Hardin County community, has been pretty awesome, because there's actually quite a few small businesses that you don't know about until you start talking about your business, or you ask somebody else what they're doing, and they usually want to reciprocate. So it's been really welcoming here in Hardin County.
Good. Corey, how are you finding these customers?
Oh, I'm a Facebook person. I try to blast everything. But really, I handle Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And then Dom handles Nextdoor, Google, and X. So we try to be broad on across the different social media platforms, because who knows where we're going to find them. But yeah, Facebook and Google have been our biggest one, and Nextdoor. And then trying the word of mouth and friends and family.
So mostly digital?
Yeah.
Mostly digital, yes.
And then your involvement in the community, which I think is going to eventually, as you step that up, I know you just started in the summer, but as you step up your involvement in the community and start helping lead some of these organizations, I think you're going to find that you'll get a lot of support there too.
Yes.
Yeah, we try to join 2 groups right now. So Dom is part of the Radcliffe Small Business Alliance, And then I'm part of the Business Networking International group. So
Okay.
we wanted to join networking groups that kind of help with networking since we're in a new area. But yeah, social media and networking groups
Yeah.
definitely going to be our starter.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The Chamber of Commerce also obviously is a good place to join, is a good thing to join. B&I is very powerful. The beauty of that B&I program is it really holds people's feet to the fire. It is easy to get lazy. I mean, even
Oh,
though
yeah.
we are highly motivated
Yeah.
people, sometimes we get lazy, and having somebody hold us accountable. I noticed you just joined the Toastmaster Club. That's a place where you get held accountable to
Absolutely.
improve communication skills. And as you well know from your experience in the military, communicating is probably the most important part about what you have to do. You were first sergeant in a training unit, communicating what needs to happen and how it needs to happen. Those are all things that are very important.
Yes.
So you come to it already with a tremendous amount of skill. And that's another thing that impressed me when I saw you guys working together. I'd seen that you both had been in the military, and I knew right then that your chances of success are very, very high, and you've already been successful. So tell me more about the B&I. How do you feel that B&I, and tell us a little bit about B&I.
So I joined the chapter as Commonwealth in Elizabethtown. We have about 12 members right now, so we're still trying to grow. I'm definitely been posting to trying to grow the home service group because I feel like if we have more home service, we can help each other. But yeah, I'm still new. I joined in July. We meet every Tuesday. I feel like I'm part of a good group. I just wish we were a little bit bigger. I went to the Louisville chapter and was amazed. They had 40 members.
Right.
So they were hustling. Definitely eye-opening, but
Right.
we'll get there. Everything takes time.
Yeah, I've been to the one in Louisville and the one here, I think, years ago. But B&I is a powerful way of getting this done. A large group like what you described there in Louisville probably is even more complex. But the idea that you only have one person in each particular field so you can share referrals is another powerful thing. Whereas ordinarily, if you're in a small business alliance or chamber or something like that, you're really sharing leads. You have to work harder for your leads. And over in B&I, you have to bring a lead. You can't just, obviously you can't just come in there expecting leads. You have to bring some leads too. That's the powerful accountability part about that. Now, you did a lot of planning before you started this. Tell people how the planning to start a small business like yours worked.
So the planning was, the execution of the business, relatively easy. The planning of the business, there's a lot of information, and I was stuck in paralysis by analysis, looking at all the different things that are available for us, like how should we structure our business, and eventually my wife, who's the executioner, let's do it, and she purchased, through Zen Business, our LLC, and from there we knew what we wanted to do, and we just drew the roadmap. And we put check blocks along the way. I have a background in business administration, so between the business administration, her and I, operational experience, her leadership experience, it was all about executing as well. So we have a good yin-yang going on right now.
So are you the free thinker in this whole group,
No.
Corey?
He generates ideas. I jump at it.
Yeah.
Because he can sit there and plan, but I'm just like, let's go.
Yeah, you're right. That is one of the obstacles to people starting a business. I probably talk to 12 or 15 a year, come by to see me, want to talk about small business. And I can't tell you the number of people that have never actually done anything with their idea. Some of them had some great ideas. Some of them are actually ideas that need some work, but you flesh that out in your planning and in your research. But a lot of people, unfortunately, do start small businesses without a plan. And that's not a very good plan, but that's the plan that a lot of people do. Fortunately, you guys are experienced and you know that planning is the key. Having a roadmap, what are we going to do today? What's working, what isn't working?
Yes.
That's another thing from your experience in both of your experiences in the military, but especially yours in a training area, as you're going to find out what is working and stop doing things that don't work. Just train people on what works, and that's one of the things in business that I have seen people stumble with is they don't stop long enough to evaluate a business. What are we doing, and is it working? Or are we just duplicating what we did yesterday that wasn't working, and we continue to duplicate it? So my suggestion to people always is stop doing something immediately that doesn't work. Don't try to make it work. It doesn't work. Just keep right on moving past it.
Absolutely.
That's what I've found in my own business. We have a real estate business, and we've had it for a long time, and a lot of different aspects of it exist. And so you can do a lot of things wrong in there, and you can keep on doing a lot of things wrong, but you'll just beat your head against the wall. So that's something you guys you're not victims of that. What about the day-to-day working conditions, Corey? You get up every day. You used to come to work at the headquarters there for probably the NCO Academy, I'm guessing. And you knew what you're going to do today. You weren't going to get too dirty. You were just going to figure out a few things and make things work. But now, what are the day-to-day working conditions?
We're definitely in a dirty job. Yeah, this is definitely blue collar. But I think it's great that we experience it now, because when we get employees, we already know what they deal with. I mean, being a leader, we truly believe leading from the front. And you can only lead by knowing what we're going to be doing. But our daily schedule varies, but right now, this job is more like part-time, because we're still doing an internship with SkillBridge for the military, because we're not out yet. But our jobs generally last, 3 to 6 hours?
Yeah, 3 to 6 hours,
Yeah.
and then if big projects, multi-days.
Multi-days, because it's just the two of us right now. Window cleaning compared to gutter cleaner are just two different aspects. But yeah, I still get up and do PT in the morning.
Well, good.
Somebody else may not join me, but I try to still stick to almost the same schedule where we put reading, fitness, spiritual, take that in the morning and then push our job later on, and that's the freedom of our time. Like, we can schedule what we want to schedule, so that's the blessing of it.
What about SkillBridge? I hadn't heard of that. So you guys you're into this business on working pretty much a full-time basis, but you're also doing some internship, you mentioned. What is that about?
So DoD SkillBridge, it gives service members an opportunity to learn a skill or profession on their exit from the military. And so we chose Allegiant Vets. Shout out to Allegiant Vets.
Yes.
Initially I chose the software development track, and then within a week of that I realized I don't want to do this. It was way too hard for me, so I transitioned into the sales track, learning sales. So I thought was a really good opportunity. It's something that I struggled with. So it's been a great opportunity to learn sales in addition to learn networking, which I think is even more powerful that we've learned in our DoD SkillBridge through Allegiant Vets.
So it is a program for people retiring from the Army?
Yes.
That it's prior to them retiring from the Army?
And anyone basically transitioning through the military. So each service offers different lengths. We were approved earlier in the year, so it was very similar through Army Career Skills Program. The Army has a different name, but the overall now I guess Department of War name, right? So we're not DoD anymore, we're Department of War through that program.
So are you both still on active duty?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Then now it's starting to make sense. So everybody goes through that. It's optional, no doubt, but they go through that in order to strengthen their skills, convert skills from military skills into civilian workforce potentially, or owning your own business. And you're in a different track, or?
I picked project management and decided I don't care for that. So I'm doing sales, but I also like social media.
Okay. Well, those perfectly link in with what you're currently doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, we recommended to Allegiant Vets to do a business development class, but they said they'd have to work they can't do that just because doesn't directly get a service member into a job. So with a sales background, you can go into any sales job, whether
Exactly.
it's software development, SaaS, or selling windows, right? Actual windows.
So this is training you can get while you're still on active duty.
Yes,
And so that's pretty sweet deal.
absolutely.
What about Allegiant Vets? I haven't heard of that either. What is the background for Allegiant Vets? What does that mean?
So Allegiant Vets is they're a nonprofit. Was it a 50? I don't remember the number, but they're a nonprofit out of Sacramento, California, and they offer a wide variety of training. And now we link up about 20 hours a week where we do live lead training, and then you participate in your particular track. So it's like a hybrid model. Before we got out, we heard that there was different companies would offer internships, but we wanted something flexible that would allow us to choose our field. Because say I went into a finance background and I locked in for 4 to 6 months in finance, and I realized I don't like finance. That's 4 to 6 months I'll be spending on finance. So we really liked Legion's Vets' wide variety of this. You can choose this track.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've heard of that.
The first track we looked at was F45 had a franchise. I don't even think CrossFit had one, but we were looking for like a gym, and that would have been learning how to operate and manage an F45, like a gym. So I feel like the skill bridge programs that they have out there, and there is tons, that if a soldier really wanted to find something to help them transition, become from a soldier to a civilian, it's a great program. If the commander approves it, it's an awesome program.
And for your business, they offer a way for service members to connect with businesses, local businesses. So if someone wants to be a realtor and they want to learn the training, it's a great time for them to transition, learn if they want if they have the skills, they want to get the licenses and participate.
Wow, that's interesting.
And they can shadow you.
I hadn't heard of that.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be something very interesting that people would find out from listening to this. By the way, this show's played in the school system primarily, and in a couple of other places. But students are listening in when we do these shows, so this may be something very valuable to them. It's quite an incentive for people to be in the military, and I assume it applies no matter how long you were in the military.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think recently they've put term limits depending on your rank and grade, but every service member, depending on the service branch, they give a transition program.
Some type of transition
Yeah.
program. Now, Corey, I know you guys have some children. I've seen some of the posts. Are the children involved in this business?
It's his kids.
Oh, your kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so my son Cameron, he's helped out on a few of the jobs, and he realized, like, Dad, this is hard work. I was like, yes, this is hard work. And he's helped out on some social media, specifically TikTok. My daughter, she's helped out on a few jobs now as well. And she said the same thing, like, Dad, this is hard work. I'm not sure if I'm ready to be cut out to be a window cleaner.
But she's
And
doing great. She's got initiative. She's a great worker.
so it's been fun involving them because we want to, not train them, but coach them, mentor them. Like, there's the hard work, you get rewarded for hard work, and there's nothing wrong with having a good work ethic.
That's right. How old are the kids?
My son's 19 and my daughter is 16.
It's a perfect age to learn how to work.
Exactly.
And it's the perfect age to learn how to work in a family business. The concept of teaching, I've found this to be true. We have a bunch of kids also. Some of them work in the real estate business with us. And they've done well by doing that. But there's no comparison, I think, to owning your own business and working for someone else. Some people think it's sort of the same, but it's nowhere near the same. Most people that talk about owning their own business, I've found that they would not be able to. They just don't have the right mindset. It's a tough environment. And like you said, you're asking your kids to come out here and work. They're not thrilled about that. Of course, why would a teenager be thrilled about doing this kind of work? But it's a lesson that they'll never forget. At least that's what I've found. And our kids, they helped us remodel houses back in the early days. They hated it. Our daughter still complains. She's 45 years old, still complains. And she owns another real estate company. Complains about the fact that at our house, is that we were raising these kids. That's all we talked about at dinner. We talked about, because of my wife and I, that's all we were doing was working in the real estate business. And now my daughter, when we have dinner together, that's still all we talk about.
Yeah.
But now she's in the conversation. But they used to just complain about it. All these teenagers complain about me and my wife talking about houses we were going to sell and projects we were working on.
Well, I think it's important that they learn the good values that come out of doing that, right? So not just the business itself, but the financial side, right? I remember studying business, and no good business stays around. So if you apply having good business to your personal life, managing your own finances, then you'll have a good future.
And you're responsible for it.
And you're exactly.
Well, we're getting close to the end here. I want to wrap it up by just asking you guys to say whatever you want as the last word, but also to encourage people that are listening in that Small Business Saturday is kind of a big deal, because it is the small businesses that are in these communities that are the ones that support the churches, the nonprofits, and the other things. Whenever an organization needs money, they usually come to small businesses in the community. They don't go to Walmart and places like that. They don't have they have the resources, but they're not in a position to help out the community. You're in your business. You go to church with these people. You're in clubs and organizations with people. So that is a very important thing to remember, that small businesses are the backbone in these communities. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I have a lot of respect for what you're doing, and I know a lot of other people do. And also grateful for the service. Your 20 and 22-year service in the military is a big deal, and that's much appreciated. So we'll leave you with the last word. You can decide on a family agreement on who's going to give the last word.
So last word, towards the end of November, when this is coming out, we'll be doing a 5-day giveaway. We'll be giving gift cards to local businesses within the community, so please stay on the lookout for that. Like, comment, and share our posts, and get a free gift card.
Sounds good.
And then we do a Thankful Thursday once a month. We're probably going to be bumping it up to twice a month, but it's for anybody that recommends someone that does not have the finances,
The
means to. We want to give back a free service to them because of what they've done. So we had one client already that we did, someone volunteered their name. They were a retired teacher, and it was such a blessing to give back to that family. So
That's incredible too. And I'm sure there are plenty of people that need that help. So that is exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. The small businesses can do and will do and are doing. And you just explained an excellent program there. So folks, that was Dominic Schroeder and Corey Gray. They own a company called Honeydew Services, and it's off the chart. They're very popular in Hardin County. They're doing a great job. They're an honest, hardworking crew, and they have a couple of teenagers working with them. So it's a 4-man business right now, and they're doing an excellent job. Thanks for listening.